So this is my 2023 Nucanoe Unlimited that I just got done rigging out. Picked it up at the end of last year and been slowly rigging it out since. And yeah, I think about done. So check it out. So I've got the Motor Guide XI3 with the eliminated prop nut, which does seem to take out some of the vibration and the head shake and will be useful when I got to pull fishing line out of it. The collar I got for the top is awesome. I got it from a company called Snipe Air Industries, and they make Hobie and Vibe parts. But it is really nice. And what happens is, if you get it around the wrong side of this cord, when you go to retrieve it, it is so easy just to flip back. So yeah, I really like that collar, Snipe Air Industries. So I went with the innocent plugs for the power, using the PowerWorks SB50 and SB51 boots. They're about $5-6 a piece. And then what I did was I used a Yak Tack through-hole wire router and tap it into the front plate. For the pod, I used a Yak Attack XL cleat and glued and screwed that down to the front plate. And yeah, seems to work really fine. I was able to get the cord coiled up enough where it just sits perfectly right here. So, worked out well. So I decided to go with the Nucanoe gear pod. I'm glad I did. It's pretty sweet. But the one con I would say about using this motor and this gear pod together is these lines right here. Whatever you put in that track, it's just, these lines are just gonna get caught up in it, and that's not gonna work out. So thought about running it down the side like this. I've seen guys do that, but I probably would have to drill holes for eyes or something, and don't really want to do that. So just going back to what I know, and yeah. So inside the pod I have this bag here, which I put together a Nucanoe charging station for. It's got a Nucanoe 10 amp hour battery, and I use it for my phone, camera batteries, or whatever. I've got an extra flag, 360 flag with a light on it. A tool bag with extra prop hardware, 9/16 deep socket with a ratchet, some lines, some gloves, just assorted stuff. Got some extra line here, some extra poly line in case I gotta tow somebody. Got a pump. Hopefully I never have to use that, right? And then I get a whole change of clothes in case I dump it over. So yeah, this pod is pretty sweet. You can't beat it, really. If you're gonna own this boat, you kind of need this pod. I mean, before you decide to run any lights or anything, really, this is the way. This is something to consider. So I needed to get some nav lights, but for multiple boats. So what I decided to do was go with this Guardian Angel light, and it's pretty nice. It comes with this magnetic mount here that you can through bolt it or just use the sticky stuff. I through bolted at the top of the cover here, and a little silicone. The thing is, when you run this bolt through, you have to make sure you kind of sunk this hole a little bit just to make sure the bolt doesn't interfere with the magnet. But other than that, I mean, it's really nice. And I just got the Yak Attack XL pad eye on there through bolted, and comes with this tether that holds it down. All right, so moving on, I have a GoPro mount. I've had a Yak Attack Omega rod holder. I've got my forward cleat. I've got some Nucanoe foot stops. I've got a one objective bass fishing tool caddy, which is pretty sweet. I did have it open up this hole a little bit for my fish grips, but other than that, it is really nice. I've got my zigzag cleat, which I use as an extra cleat for my rudder, and secure that. This bag here, I've got all my fishing gear in. I've got waterproof pants, waterproof jacket, little towel. Yeah, all in this bag. So over here I have my Garmin Striker 4. I've got my Yak Gadget rear view mirror. I've got my one objective bass fishing track shelf, which comes with a Mighty XL that I left off because this is probably one of my favorite things I've added to the boat, because it makes for a nice little bench here. It hides all my power cord, my transducer cord. I velcroed this little magnetic bowl on here, which is perfect for lures and whatnot. And then I run my power from my fish finder out of this panel here. So it works out really well. So I decided to go with the shift handle instead of the foot pedal for my rudder, because I like using these foot stops instead. And I didn't want to take up the deck space with the pedal either. But the handle itself, after a few hours, starts to dig into your hand. So what I did is I put the silicone panhandle cover on here, and it works great. I mean, 6 hours, I don't even notice it. So definitely an improvement for that handle. Moving back, I've got the Omega rod holder in the back for trolling. I've got my Yak Hacker cooler bag, which I was using it for storage until I got the pod, but it's nice to be able to use it as a cooler now. Got my Nucanoe rudder system, which is sweet. Absolutely love it. Got my rear cleat. Another rear cleat. All right, so the rear hatch. Great for doing rigging, but otherwise a dead space, right? Well, what I did was I took a pad eye and I roughed up the surfaces and glued it to the bottom of the cover. Now I hang my scuppers and my spare prop from it. So not necessarily a dead space. So back here I have my anchor, I have my other through-hull connections. This is my DIY power box. It's a Plano field box. And hold it down is a Nucanoe track strap. I've got my other Guardian Angel stern light that I mounted to the top of the box, through bolted to 2. Inside the box, I have an Amp Outdoors 60 amp hour Kayak Edition battery. I have a Nucanoe 10 amp hour battery from my fish finder. In the top of the box, I have my breaker, I have a battery capacity meter, I have a Nucanoe USB port, and another USB port in the front of the box with a voltmeter on it. So the reason why I go with this harness setup is that when I'm not using the motor or the battery, I don't have leads in the boat, and I don't have leads dangling off the box when I'm trying to drag it in and out of the house. So I actually lowered the seat. I got the seat height adjustment kit and flipped the base over. It was pretty simple. And kind of lowered my center of gravity a little bit. One of the things I like about the seat the best is being able to do that. Being able to do that and get in and out of the boat easy is my favorite thing about the swivel seat. It is pretty nice. Still got room for my bag underneath it, but I really can't turn it all the way around anymore without hitting the rudder assembly. But I can turn it backwards if I have to. And on this side, I can get about that far before I hit the rudder handle. So that's the seat height adjustment kit. It's about as low as it gets you. But it's so this is a remote cover I got on Etsy, ETSY, from a company called Bluegill Designs. It's a solution to the tether point on the remote breaking off. So before that happened, I decided to throw this cover on there. It covers the buttons a little bit, but they still work just fine. And it glows on dark. It's pretty sweet. So I'm also running the Nucanoe transducer retract system, which is pretty sweet. You can see my cables run nicely up through the scupper drains. I got that little office cable router thing I found on Amazon. It's got some 3M tape on the back, and it's been holding up just fine. To be honest with you, I forget to put it down most of the time, and it's, yeah, I'm probably losing a little my side view, but I don't even notice it. It is pretty awesome. So this is what the Guardian Angel nav light system looks like when turned on. It's pretty bright. Alright, well, that's about all I have for this rigging video. Hope my fellow Nucanoers got something out of it. What can I say about this boat other than it's just awesome, and I absolutely love it.